Sunday, May 27th. Wow, apparently I had a lot to get off my chest when I first started this journal thing. That apparently dried things up for a while. Just been spending my evenings like I always do, vegging at my computer, doing as little as possible to try and decompress from all the stress of the day. My mom came down to visit yesterday. Jess and I took her out to eat as a kind of late Mother's Day thing. She lives like 2 hours away, so I don't get to see her too often. Took her to this great restaurant near where I work called Roaring Fork. It's weird because it has this mix of upscale and casual. The design of the space itself looks like a very hoity-toity restaurant, but nobody bats an eye when people walk in wearing shorts and a t-shirt. The food is pretty pricey, but that and the great service is worth every penny. Plus, Mom liked it, so it's all worth it. My mom runs the cafe at the campus of TSTC in Waco, so she also took this trip as an opportunity to visit Ace Mart to get some supplies. Apparently, her employees keep breaking the fryer baskets. We also stopped at Dollar Tree because she also can't resist thrift stores like that. This was interesting because the AC was completely broken in the building. I was building up a sweat just walking around in the store. Felt really bad for the two girls who had to stay there to work. That can't be legal. They should have just shut the store down and sent them home until it was fixed. The girl that checked us out was saying she was feeling faint and nauseous, which was very much likely due to the heat. It was her first day on the job, too. Really wish I could have done something to help them, but what can the average person do in that situation? Went to see Deadpool 2. I highly recommend it. I think now that they got a budget, it actually got even better. The whole theater was laughing and chuckling through the whole movie. It's nice to be in a room where you know everyone is enjoying the same movie. One of the reasons I love going to the cinema. I like that kid that plays Russell in the movie. I'm glad he's in something as big as a freaking Marvel movie. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go look up and watch Hunt for the Wilderpeople. He does a great job of a little delinquent in that movie too. Plus that movie has Sam Neill, who played Dr. Grant in Jurassic Park. Tuesday, May 29th. I never understood what the fascination is with a handicap stall in bathrooms. I watch guys pass up open stalls and always go for the handicap one first. I saw a stand-up routine once where the comic talked about this sort of thing. I don't remember who it was, but he was like, "This is amazing, it's bigger than my first apartment," you know, pretty basic joke. But after having used the handicap stall a couple of times, because the others were taken, I can definitively say that it's fucking terrible. Sure, you got all this room, but they can't put the toilet right in the middle. All that extra room is supposed to be there for the wheelchair. So the toilet is shoved off to one side, so that means you're still smooshed up against at least one wall. Also, there's a handrail there, so the shelf thing that has the toilet paper rolls is lowered right at knee level. So since I'm not Kitty Pryde, I can't phase my body through shit, so I have to sit on the toilet at an angle. And since they use the long oval style toilets, the whole ordeal is super uncomfortable. I seriously don't understand the appeal. Friday, June 1st. I decided it's time to leave my job. Jess and I talked it over and we decided now is a good time. We got savings and she's staying as long as she can. It works out because in 2 weeks we're heading down to the Gulf for a little week-long vacation. Don't worry, we paid for all that months ago when we planned it. So my planned last day will be right before vacation. The best part though is since I told a couple of people, the word is starting to get out and there's this delicious sense of panic. All of this was avoidable. They shouldn't have let our numbers get so low that one person leaving sets off this panic response. It's their own damn fault, and I'm done with the place. Sunday, June 3rd. We went to see Upgrade at the theater today. Man, I don't want to talk about it too much to avoid spoilers, but I highly recommend it. The trailer seems like it gives a lot away, but it really actually doesn't. It was written by the guy who wrote the first 3 Saw movies, and say what you will about that series, but they all started off with pretty tightly written stories. There were a couple of gaming betas this weekend I got to try out. First was Mario Tennis Aces. I never played any of the Mario Tennis games other than the first one on N64, but this new one feels a lot like that, so that's good. I'm still not sold on online play though. The game doesn't handle lag very well, and losing a match from body shots because my character just stands there for a couple of seconds and does nothing despite me mashing the controller is very frustrating. I'll probably buy it, but I won't play online much. The other was the closed beta for The Crew 2. This one is kind of weird because I played a bit of the first The Crew, and that was about an undercover cop infiltrating a nationwide group of street racing gangs to avenge his brother or something. This new one is like they took the first one and made it more like Forza Horizon. It's not about gangs. You just go around and get in with racing enthusiasts. There's some tones that not everything you're doing is legal, but the whole setup has a fictional production crew behind it, like they're filming some nationwide event. Not that I mind that, it's just weird. I'll probably buy that one too because I love the huge map even though it's not geographically accurate at all. But the experience as a whole feels a little more focused compared to the first game. Monday, June 4th. The deed is done. I put in my official 2 weeks notice at work this morning. My old manager, who happens to still be the person I report to but is on a different team for reasons too complicated and boring to explain here, seems like he's taking it pretty well and already joking with me about it. The current help desk manager was caught completely by surprise. The panic is really starting to set in. He even pulled me aside toward the end of the day to talk about it.
How are you doing, Los Santos?
I didn't want to tell him all the reasons why I believed he was driving the team to failure, especially since he wanted to talk out in the open instead of in a meeting room or whatever. Now, I've been very vocal to the point of getting in trouble a lot of the time about the problems with our department, only to be brushed off as the managers dive headlong into bad decisions. I always got the feeling that they were never listening or just blowing us off. I wasn't the only one expressing my opinion. Today I got my confirmation. The fact that they're surprised that I'm leaving is proof that they weren't paying attention. On a related note, I applied sometime last week to a place I thought would be pretty cool to work at. Mostly on a whim, expecting competition to be pretty high for the place. To my surprise, I got an email just as I got home from that place, and they want to start a simple phone interview sometime this week. I'm not going to get my hopes up too high, and not going to say what company it is yet. Interesting timing that this would happen on the day I put in my 2 weeks notice. I hope this works out. Sunday, June 10th. Sorry about the lack of uploads this past week. As I mentioned before, I got a lot going on in my life at the moment, and so the channel unfortunately is taking a back seat for a bit. Won't be for long though. I have some more Kirby videos queued up for the next few weeks, but we haven't gotten around to recording anything else recently. I want to thank those of you valiant enough to watch this far, so let's talk a little bit about the future. This coming week is the last week at my current job. The call I was supposed to have with another potential job on Friday got rescheduled to Monday, so I'm going to have to take that at work. I'm a little terrified about the future on that front, because right now nothing is set in stone, but I just had to get out of that place. It has been affecting my health for the past year or so. As for the channel, part of the reason we haven't recorded anything new lately is mostly from a lack of motivation. I know everyone keeps telling me doing Let's Plays and stuff is supposed to be about fun, but for me, part of the fun is growing the channel. But the channel has kinda hit a plateau, and we've been here a long time. But don't take this to mean that I'm giving up or just going to stop doing stuff here. I just have been trying to think of ways to spice things up and do things a little differently. One thing that still is kind of daunting is that I still want to finish Tales of Symphonia, even though we've been on that game for what feels like forever. It kind of feels like the old unsuccessful ways are still tying me down as I try to evolve the channel. But on the other hand, I still really enjoy the game and want to see it through to the end. It sucks because nobody's going to look for some Let's Play and see part of 200 of something and want to watch that video. It's like we've created a Shonen Jump Let's Play. If you weren't there at the beginning, you're not going to know what the hell's going on, and now there's too much content to watch the whole thing. Maybe my lack of motivation is because I know that once we're done with Tales of Symphonia, I will have to make good on what I've been saying for a long time and actually make changes to the channel. Changes I'm not even sure will succeed. In the nearer future, I will be working out the last week of my job. Then immediately after, we're heading down to the coast to spend a week at the beach. After that, things are pretty up in the air. My birthday's in like a week.
Start, you piece of crap.
I need a driver for a pickup right away.